Heritage August Signature US Coins Auction, what would have been the ANA show auction were it not cancelled, raised over $18 million this year. There were quite a few spectacular error coins that were on offer during the auction, and to start us off, let's take a look at this unusual quarter that some might recognize to have the distinct sheen of a silver coin. However, the date of 1970 from the San Francisco Mint would quickly disqualify that possibility. Then, examining the coin more closely will reveal that this is a proof 1970 S quarter that was in fact overstruck on a silver Canadian quarter of the George V era from 1911 to 1936. Several details of the original base coin still remain visible on both the obverse as well as the reverse of this coin, including most prominently are the reef on the obverse and portions of the king's title and the lower bust outline on the reverse of the coin as well. Graded by NGC as proof 64, it sold at auction for $7,800. Certainly, one of the most talked about coins for the auction was a spectacular error coin that nearly defies belief. A proof Eisenhower dollar coin double struck on a Clad half-dollar planchet. There is barely enough of the date present to make out that it is a 1973 coin. From the way that the coin has deformed, it's obvious that the half-dollar planchet ended up in the dollar press somehow, resulting in this curious specimen. Both the obverse as well as the reverse are clearly double struck with multiple design elements appearing twice. Graded by NGC as proof 66 cameo, the coin sold at auction for $19,200. Two more error coins that warrant a quick mention before we move on to more conventional coinage then. The first is a Morgan dollar that was struck off-center by about 30%. While off-center Morgans are not unheard of, it is very seldomly that you will come across a coin that is so dramatically misaligned. The date is unfortunately off planchet, but the mint mark does identify it as a New Orleans mint emission, and the grade of AU53 from NGC suggests it actually spent some time in circulation to boot. $16,800 was the closing price for this unique specimen. And then the last error coin to demand our attention is something equally as impressive. An 1891 Seated Liberty quarter, which was double struck, with the first striking perfectly normal and then the second striking being off-center by about 50% and rotated almost exactly 90 degrees as well. The second strike is basically perfect as well, suggesting that no additional planchet was fed into the press in between strikings either. Graded by NGC as MS62, this error coin sold at auction for $31,200. Though the 1792 half-deems were struck earlier, the silver center cents were seen as the first coins actually struck inside the confines of the newly established and constructed Philadelphia Mint building. It was an ingenious way to make the coin effectively smaller and more practical for everyday use, using a smaller silver plug with 3/4 of a cent surrounded by 1/4 of a cent worth of copper. The idea ultimately proved too complicated and was scrapped, but today 14 surviving examples are known to exist. This coin had its silver plug removed sometime during the past 200 years and replaced with a ferrous alloy, in other words, some form of steel or iron. This coin was actually discovered in 2006 when it was purchased in a police auction in a lot consisting of various unclaimed goods for a meager $400. It has subsequently been slabbed, first by Annax and now by NGC as VG Details, noting the repaired plug, and sold here at auction for $52,800. Ignoring the Summer Island coins, which frankly I don't think should be done, but then the coins from the Boston Mint or the Hull Mint of the Massachusetts Bay Colony are the first real American coins to be issued in any sort of consistent basis. These pine tree shillings are the eventual successors to the earlier New England, willow, and oak tree coins. Although bearing the date of 1652, it is more likely that these were in fact minted around the 1670s instead, due to the questionable legality of the coins in the eyes of the British government of the day. Authenticated by NGC with a grade of MS65, this stunning coin sold for $56,400. Then we have a Liberty Cap half-cent coin of the whiff pole variety from 1796. This issue is of course divided into two halves. One, such as the coin here with the pole draped over Liberty's shoulders supporting the Liberty Cap, and the other that omits this detail. The accepted mintage figure for both types of this coin combined has always been 1,390 coins. But in a recent publication, William Ekberg from the Early American Coppers suggests that the figure should be closer to 6,480 instead, with the 1,390 mintage applying solely to the no-pole variety. Either way, this is a very rare coin with a grade of VF30 from PCGS, and that managed to sell at auction for $60,000. In terms of Lincoln pennies, nothing even came close to outdoing this amazing trophy-level coin, a 1926 wheat cent that managed to obtain a grade of MS65 red from PCGS, one of only 4 coins in the population report to exist at this laudable level, with none finer that still exhibits the full red mint luster. I already made a full-length video about this coin on its own, so if you'd like to find out more, you can check that out. But suffice to say that at auction, this dream conditional rarity attained $102,000. For those who study the history of the California gold rush, and indeed the tragic sinking of the SS Central America along with it, from which shipwreck this stunning, large gold ingot was recovered, the name of John Glover Kellogg and Augustus Humbert are inseparable from this history. As private gold assayers and indeed coiners during this period of boom and subsequent bust, a significant portion of the treasure recovered from this long-lost shipwreck of the SS Central America was from this same firm. This current gold ingot weighs 112.23 ounces, recovered from the bottom of the ocean after nearly 150 years, sold at auction for $264,000. In 1870, the Carson City Mint began to strike gold coins for the first time, although to be fair, it began striking coins of any type for the first time, concerning itself though mainly with the production of silver dollars and half dollars especially, owing to its proximity to the Comstock lode. 3,789 double eagles were also struck at this Nevada branch mint, a figure which is absolutely dwarfed by the combined mintage figure of over 1 million coins of the same denomination from the San Francisco and Philadelphia mints. Making things worse, all of the coins were released into circulation and apparently none were preserved by collectors at the time, placing the finest known coin of this type today at a grade of only AU55, putting the grade of AU50 from NGC for this particular specimen within its proper context, and explaining why it achieved a closing price at auction of $312,000. Yet another phenomenal gold coin to close us out with, this time from the capped bust half eagle series. This is the BD1 variety that has a surviving population estimated to be fewer than 20 coins overall, with 2 specimens of that existing in the Smithsonian and another curated by the ANA. In addition to the wide spacing in the date, the chief defining characteristic for this coin is an overpunched denomination on the reverse. Taking a closer look, you can see that an errant number 0 was struck onto the die and then Overstruck with a D in an attempt to obscure the mistake. Graded by PCGS as a spectacular MS65 with CAC approval, this coin became the highlight of the auction with a closing price of $444,000. Let me know which coins you enjoyed seeing the most. Was it the era coins, the 19th century gold, or the early colonial coins? Also, subscribe to WNN and remember to activate notifications with the bell icon so you'll know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.